Hi, there's Kim with RogueDeckBuilder.com with another match with the red-green aggro. Yes, we'd like to play first. This is a keepable hand. We have a way to ramp into a Surrak or Polukranos, depending on what our opponent plays. So definitely liking this. We're also on the play, so we can go ahead and just throw out a force and pass the turn, and then go for a Rattleclaw Mystic. Now, there is a lot of hate for 1 toughness creatures in the format at the moment. So, but if he does decide to use removal on Rattleclaw, that's not that big of a deal because we'll be able to then hopefully draw into one more land and then it goes Surrak and then Polukranos or vice versa. There's an extra Surrak. So again, I'm just going to force and Rattleclaw here. And then next turn again. I think we'll definitely go Surrak this time since 1 is expendable. I would not be surprised if this just gets Bile Blighted. Okay, so it's going to be a whip deck. So let's see what he found. Nothing really too juicy in the graveyard, but again, if it's like this could just be a Tasigur whip. And there is an Heir of the Wilds. I'd rather have a land, but we'll just go ahead and go get a red source here. And I'm thinking that Surrak is the right play over Polukranos. Next turn we can give the Polukranos haste. And then he's going to have to start chump blocking. He could Hero's Downfall to Surrak Shore or Murderous Cut, because we do have the backup, and that's good because then we have another one we can just play. So it is just going to be Hero's Downfall. And see if he swings in for a Satyr. That's fine. We'll go down. No dead draws here. Land is nice. Well, maybe 1 dead draw. Again, we'll do it again. But yeah, getting too many legendary creatures in this hand can be a bit of an issue, but it kind of reset the whole turn as his has to come into play tap land. And another Hero's Downfall. Okay. So we'll do Polukranos here then. He's got to run out of those. Crater's Claw will be nice later on. We'll Polukranos. And this actually could just be the control. In fact, this is what I'm thinking. This is going to be the old school Planeswalker control with all of those Heroes Downfalls. And then Courser, yeah. I expect to see like Kiora. Most likely just going to be a Tasigur or a Dig here. I'm thinking it's just going to be Tasigur. No, Murderous Cut. Okay. And a Whip. Okay. All right, so this is just going to be the old school Whip deck, but he had to, well, I guess he didn't exile anything that crazy out of his deck. I might just go Fanatic here and try to get some sort of, no, I think we still need a Polukranos. And see if now, finally, I could see him actually whipping in a Satyr Wayfinder just to get value. And let's hope he just runs out of removal. Use 2 Downfalls and 1 Murderous Cut. And of course there's going to find him a Sidisi coming up. So I'll most likely just kill off the Courser, depending what we draw here. There's finally a land. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can still Heir the Wild. So definitely going to do this. And then we'll go ahead and attack in with Polukranos. I'm sure he'll throw the Satyr in front of it. Oh, he decides not to. Okay. It's fine by me. I know he's got a Sidisi coming up, which is going to give him so much value. Unfortunately, with this build, I don't have any way to deal with the whip. And so I might just end up losing to the whip. Because Sidisi's going to find him. And maybe I should have kept a Crater's Claw for Sidisi. But I'm getting to the point where, well, I was going to say I could Polukranos it off, but still quite a ways. He finds nothing decent with the Sidisi, though. And I can actually generate... No, even if I drew a land, I still couldn't generate enough for Polukranos. But he's he's delving something, so I've got to think either Tasigur or another Murderous Cut. And it's another cut, which is getting very obnoxious. I will block here rather than take a life. Now, Sidisi can't attack in for the Heir of the Wilds. Temple's okay here. See what we can scry away. Thinking I just cast as a Xenagos God here, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, possibly not. Because I could say that we could get this Fanatic up to an 8 and then start dishing in damage. But I don't think that... Ooh, I'm going to put him on top. That's fine. And then, because then that might... No, I don't think that changes much. We'll just Fanatic here. And see how he does this. And he gives it a permanent counter, so I think I can attack in with the Heir of the Wilds. Because he's not going to block with Sidisi. Yeah. And might as well, you know, continue to beat him down with as much damage as possible, because the way this deck can do it can actually burst down. Even if he lifelinks a ton of life back, I can still burst him down pretty quickly with this deck, with a top-decked Crater. So it looks like he's just going to bring back a Satyr to try to find more ammo in the in the bin. That ended up being very well for us, because that's another Murderous Cut. And wait a second. So okay, so he did get a creature. Another Satyr went to the graveyard there. All right. And he's just going to start attacking in, so I will definitely just block a zombie and take a damage. He'll gain some life, but again, I could care less at this point. And we do know we're drawing a Surrak, but I'm thinking a Xenagos might actually be better here than a Surrak, because if I attack him with a Surrak, he would have to double block, so never mind. Surrak's the right play. And we'll give it self-haste and attack in. And might as well clear those zombies. It's definitely worthwhile to keep the board as clear as possible. So now that this red in here and the Mana Confluence, it's definitely going to be the Atarka build. And so I do need to worry about an Atarka coming out. He might have to really go on the defensive pretty soon here with the Xenagos coming out. Xenagos will also be active. And he gets another zombie. Decides to attack with the Sidisi. I could kill the Sidisi. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 still have Devotion, and then he'd still have to whip it back. Or on the backswing, I can just really punish him. And I think that's what we're going to do. Because he gains 3 life or 4 life here, and he'll gain 4 life on the backswing. I'm going to give this guy plus this guy up and give him trample for sure, and then just swing in with I could even plus... No, I wouldn't plus up the Rattleclaw. Yeah, I don't think I care about Sidisi. I think he wants Sidisi to die to try to find more. He must have multiple ones in his hand. So I need a Creator's Claw as soon as possible. Again, we'll throw out Xenagos. And I'm going to swing in possibly with everything here. I don't think that he doesn't have anything in the graveyard he can throw back to cause lethal. Right? Tassiger and the Sidisi will only do 8 damage. So I do think I will attack in with everything but the Rattleclaw. So I'm going to give Xenagos haste. And the Fanatic. Double the Fanatic's and then swing in. And he'll have to block basically everything. Well, I guess he just goes down to an 8. Go down to a 6. Yeah, okay, so trample through. And still has a Sylvan Caryatid. But he is down to a 6. I'm really in good shape with top decks. He can't, on the back soon, hit me with more zombies. I think what he's going to keep trying to do is finding as much value out of Sidisi. He's getting close to those Atarkas. But what I need to top deck into is a huge Creator's Claw. So what is he going to whip back here? A Tasker? He's just going to... Oh, he can cast an Atarka. And then gain 5 life. And then still swing in. Yeah, so maybe that didn't end up being the best play because he's going to shoot down the Surrak, I'm sure. Yeah, I go back up to a 10. Oh, he can shoot down the Rattleclaw too and then still attacking with Sidisi. So this is looking terrible for me. Just very hard to beat an Atarka. Is that just game? I think it is. So that was the top deck of the century. So that's why it's in here, though. So I'm going to take... What? Wait a sec. Oh, less than. Never mind. It has to be less than the power of... Yuck. So the only thing I can take is a Sidisi. And I guess... I would want to pump up the Fanatic. I could give Yasova. Yeah, whatever I do. And then he just whipped back the Atarka. So... And he'd gain 8 life. I think I still... Whoops, no, I should have definitely gone on the Yasova. Because if he whips it back, I'd just die. I think no matter what I do here, I'm dead. Because what else can you just whip in? He wants his Atarka to die, and then I just die to it. But if I attack him, he gains 8 life. He can block anywhere he wants to gain 8 life. Here would be ideal. Going up to 21 and then only taking a 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I just attack in with Sidisi. And just find a bunch of junk. And I'm down. I can take one swing with a Dragonlord Atarka. I don't think he leaves Atarka back. Looks like has another Murderous Cut. Yep, in his hand. And now that puts me in a very difficult spot. So maybe you do just swing in with the Atarka, Dragonlord Atarka. There's really not much I can do here. Oh yeah, because he's gonna whip in what, a Tasigur? And then attack in with everything. And this forces me to block the Tasigur and the Sidisi. And I go down to a 1. He goes up to a 24. And could I have this actually stack that with Xenagos? Yeah, I should have stacked it on the Yasova. Now that I look at my mistake, you could probably stack the triggers differently and I could gain... No. Because when the trigger went off, it made me do a target with... Alright, let's see what I draw into here. That is not going to work. We'll go on to the sideboard. And... it just feels to me like I need to bring in Hornet's Nest. I want to go like Twin Bolt Hornet's Nest just to... Well, possibly not. The Atarka just clears all the tokens. So I think I just need to out-aggro him, and so Hornet's Nest isn't the right play. I kind of like the See the Unwritten because they just get me back in this. But I'm thinking I need to go as aggressive as possible. And I'm thinking that if that's the case, that Xenagoses are better than Polukranos, but I'm going to keep one in. I'll keep the one of See the Unwritten in as well, and I'm going to submit this. Again, I could see the point in going Hornet's Nest, because if he swings in with a Sidisi, I get 3 dudes. But we need to erase Atarka. That's the whole key to this. I'm definitely going to keep this. This is a very, very fast hand. An Elvish Mystic into a morph down Rattleclaw. And then we morph it up, we can get the Xenagos. Now I'm wishing I had like a Shamanic Revelation in here. But this is going to... I mean, even if I draw into like a Boon Satyr. It's definitely the 2 cards that are difficult for me to deal with is going to be... the Whip and the Atarka. I hope it's not a Satyr here. Just a Caryatid. That's okay. See if we can... Alright, well, we're not as aggressive as I'd like to be. We'll Xenagos here. And then Heir of the Wilds. And I'm actually tempted to just plus up Xenagos. I think I will, actually. We're gonna tick up Xenagos. Just so I can get another one out. I think I'm actually going to try to go for the tick up of Xenagos. Now, he could Hero's Downfall here. He's going to be ultimate price off one of the heirs. So... that was a lovely, lovely, lovely draw. Because now we will make a haster. And this is gonna... he just scoops. I don't know if you quite need to scoop there. If I were him, I'd block... well, you'd block a Rattleclaw, and then you'd have a bunch of... yeah, that's rough for him. So, again, I think this is fine. I don't think we go for any Shamanic Revelation, See the Unwritten type strategy here. We want to be as aggressive as possible, and this is the way to do it. I can maybe see Yasova coming out, because she does die to just a zombie token. And then putting back in like this See the Unwritten type strategy, but no, I'm thinking this is fine. We'll submit this. I'm going to keep this. It's got a Shaman. It's got a Boon Satyr. Love to see an elf here. See the Unwritten is fine. We'll Temple. And Scry. Yeah, I think I'm going to put the Hero's Blade on the bottom at this point, even though it's something I could cast next turn. I might end up kicking myself for that. Especially if it's like a Surrak here. Nope, just a forest. I'm going to thin out. Pass the turn. All right, so there's a Satyr Wayfinder. Fortunately for him, a whip goes to the graveyard. That's not what you want to see. And I'm thinking here, we run it out, the Fanatic. Boon Satyr's a lot more good to be bestowed later on to a Fanatic. So he does Murderous Cut It, and he'll attack in, but this leaves me wide open to a Shaman. Or I could go Elf Boon Satyr, and then he did miss his land drop. So I might actually do that. I mean, the Shaman can hit here. I just think he's got a handful of removal if he didn't cast anything there. So I am just going to Elf, and then end of turn Boon Satyr. I think that's a little more powerful, because if he misses his land drop again, well, and this is kind of like a missed land drop, unless he's Sidisi's here. Merciless Executioner. Yeah, it's going to hit. And that sucks because it blocks the Shaman. Yasova is pretty good. Do we just hit the Boon Satyr on the... No, I need the Shaman to stay back. I think I'm just going to cast Yasova and pass the turn. But it's not looking good for us. He's really got me controlled out. Well, we have a See the Unwritten next. Oh, geez, an ultimate price on him. I'd love him to attack. Of course, he's not going to. I think we just See the Unwritten for sure here. We need to get out something that can actually... Well, we can Crater's Claw. Yep, this is going to be the play. He could be keeping up another ultimate price. But I'm thinking we want to get these guys bigger. No, we don't. Oh, but he could ultimate price in response, and that'd be... Yeah, well, let's do this. I'm going to tap one just in case. There's no point not to. Even because if he ultimate prices in response, then his guy survives. But if he doesn't, all right. That's awesome. We'll Shaman. And now we have 2/5/3s that he has to deal with. And a possible See the Unwritten. So another hero's downfall. Jeez, so much control. And we will cast it. If he would have had any more removal, he would have used it. we'll go Surrak and Shaman. That's an awesome, awesome, awesome See the Unwritten. I don't think he comes back from this. I can see just a scoop. Well, he's got it. Yeah, he just dies here. Because we give Surrak haste and we attack in with everything. Yep, and there's the scoop. So, pretty sweet matchup. That's the power of See the Unwritten. You can't figure out a better See the Unwritten than those two cards. And so I like this deck anyway. So maybe we'll play a few more matchups, but this has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. And yeah, so I'm going to be probably going down my top 10 list and looking at other cards. I want to do is it Assault Formation? Is that the card? The Defender deck. We'll try to make a deck with it here and do some new brews here. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.